apps engineer at Footballguys. One of the common bits of feedback that we get on the Draft Dominator is that the mock drafts aren't realistic for the Users League. And the reason why we hear that so often is because every league is different, not only in terms of settings, but also in terms of tendencies for owners. And leagues develop, especially leagues that have been running for a long time, leagues develop certain patterns that happen over the years with drafts where collectively quarterback might be overvalued, for instance, and ADP becomes less and less relevant the more those factors develop. So although mock drafts will absolutely adapt to your league settings. Absolutely in Superflex leagues, quarterbacks are going to go sooner. PPR leagues, wide receivers are going to go sooner. To get it specifically realistic to your league sometimes requires just a little bit of input just to get it absolutely 100% tuned in. So I'm going to give you an example. One of my buddies, George, won't mind me giving him as an example because he either takes one of two draft strategies. The first strategy is to try and copy me and shadow my bids in auction drafts, which is incredibly annoying. And the second strategy he tries to do is draft only Carolina Panthers because he loves the Carolina Panthers very much. And McCaffrey's his keeper. He loves it. And he's always going to draft those guys higher. So to get mock drafts realistic for George in this app, we're going to have to go in and input those preferences for him. And as always, we're going to go to this rankings menu. By the way, I'm really enjoying doing this video with a Saints shirt on as well. Once we're in the ranking screen, we're going to select his team. Now, predictably, that's King Cam. And we're going to create a new profile for the King Cam team. That's George's team. And we're going to call it Carolina. Now we're going to use the same tools that we've highlighted in other videos to change the rankings, but now we're not changing our own rankings. We're changing the rankings that the app is going to use for this team only. So if you wanted to do a rankings profile that changed the rankings for all the other teams in your league, you've got this blue button here, set all other teams to this profile. Thankfully, we've only got one Panthers superfan in the league, so I'm going to leave that button alone. Now you can use whatever settings you want to change the rankings behavior of this team. You've got strategies, projection, optimism, weekly weights, edit players, projections used, position adjustments. The two that I would suggest you want to look at the most when customizing the behavior of other teams is position adjustments. So if this is a team historically who overvalue quarterbacks or undervalue quarterbacks or whatever, you can enter those settings there. But for now, we're going to look at edit players because that's how we're going to find the Panthers and move them all the way up the draft rankings. So here we go. Cam Newton's up. McCaffrey's up. Let's find DJ Moore. Okay. And finally, we'll dig out Greg Olsen. Obviously, I'm exaggerating here. I don't think even George would rank Greg Olsen above Travis Kelce this year. You never know. But just for the purposes of pretending that he is going to value the Panthers that much, that's what we're going to do for now. The last thing we have to do, which is very important before we finish, is we have to change back onto our own profile. So we've made a bunch of changes to George's profile. Now we're going to move back to our own rankings profile and get the cheat sheet back to our needs. And we can now carry on the mock draft. Now you'll see we're picking at 114 here. And the first benefit you'll see is that it's projecting this King Cam pick here. This is George's next pick. It's projecting him to take a Panthers player there. So the mock drafts are going to be more realistic, but also when it comes to real drafts and predicting how real drafts are going to go during the draft, you've also got an extra benefit there. So customizing mock drafts gets those mock drafts more realistic and gives you a huge advantage on draft day as well. So let's just play this draft out and see how it goes. Okay, so that obviously our mock drafts do have an element of randomness to it, and this is a super flex league. So in this case, he went with Cam Newton, not DJ Moore. Again, our predictions aren't always going to be 100%, and in mock drafts that's the case too, because there's always randomness when someone's picking. And we'll go through another round. He took Joe Mixon this time, presumably his other Panthers are off the board. And if we carry on a bit more, we should see Greg Olsen there in the fourth. And that mock draft has now changed. He's now picked 2 out of 3 of his picks since we made that change have been Panthers. That's about what we'd expect from him. So we can go in as much detail there as we want. We could put profiles in for every team, and there's 2 really clear benefits there. You get the mock drafts exactly as they need to be for your league, and then on draft day, when we're predicting how the draft is going to turn out between your current and next picks, we'll also get those predictions more accurate based on the information that you've fed into the Draft Dominator.